Did you have premarital, Brian?
I'm not a Christian. Yeah.
Why does it bother you so much that we do something with our religion when you aren't even religious? Like,
I don't see how that's at all relevant.
It is,
It's
because we're
your
having a
worldview.
conversation.
Well, so it's funny to me how I'm not even a Christian, and I'm going harder for Christianity than actual Christians. I'm here actually defending Christianity, because remember, I have pro-Christian sentiment. I think Christian ethics is good for society. It's good for the individual. It's good for culture. It's good for all of this. Christianity is the foundation and groundwork for modern civilization. I don't like to see people disrespecting it or tearing it down or speaking incorrectly about Christianity or misrepresenting what the Bible says.
This last year, I got really swept into the industry in a couple months because you learn all these things. It gets exciting. It's fast money. And I started to post more photos per se. I started to post bikini photos at work. And then I had a voice in my head and I said, this is wrong. This is not okay. And I took a step back and I bring clothes to work and I post in shorts when I'm at work, or I work on what I post to make it more human.
You still have all those photos. You didn't take down any photos. Two different Instagrams.
Nothing crazy.
It's not becoming of a woman who's Christian.
That's your opinion, Brian.
It's not just my opinion. It's true. Should women submit to men?
No.
Women should not submit to men?
No.
Okay. Are you Christian?
Yes.
Okay. Do you agree with her on those things?
To some extent, I believe like submitting should be 50-50.
And then what do you think?
Literally the same thing that she said.
But you're all Christians?
Yes.
Are you Catholic?
No, just Protestant.
Protestant, Catholic. It's funny because I'm agnostic and I go harder for Christianity than actual Christians do. You don't believe in submission. You don't believe in submission. This is completely incoherent and contradictory to your own worldview that you claim to be a part of, your own perspective. You claim to be Christians. Ephesians 5:22, wives, submit yourselves to your own husbands as you do to the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, as Christ is the head of the church. Now as the church submits to Christ, so also wives should submit to their husbands in everything. Do you believe that the Bible is the inspired word of God?
Yes.
If scripture is God-breathed, then rejecting clear commands is disagreement with God. Do you disagree with God?
No.
Okay, so the scripture that I cited to you before, wives obey your husbands, wives submit yourselves to your husbands, you guys are disagreeing with the scripture. So you're disagreeing with God. Is that tenable as a Christian?
No, it is not.
Because I remember crying out to Pastor, like, I need help around the house. We had 4 kids, like, I need help. And one time I was really mad at my ex and I told him I want to leave. And so we went and talked to Pastor for advice, right? Because my ex used to always run to him. And so I was like, Pastor, all I am asking for him is to help me. You know, if I make dinner and he comes, like, can he just at least help me with dishes while I take a shower? Because we have little ones and, you know, I don't have time. And then he was like, he looked at me dead in the eyes and he was like, nope, he doesn't have to move a finger. That's your job. When I had breast milk that was dried up on my shirt, throw up on my lap, I haven't bathed in 2 days because I had them back to back, my kids. You think that I didn't fall into depression and did something really stupid. But I was on the verge, you know? It was hard. Wow. And then when he said that, I just like swallowed my saliva because I really wanted to burst out crying. And I didn't say anything. But that's when I kind of started looking at church as my enemy. And that's when I started being very sour towards the church. And then once I saw the exit, I was out of the church and I divorced him, you know? Good. And let me tell you something. The divorce was not easy. My kids suffered. You know, it was so hard on me leaving the church and the marriage at the same time, the trauma, because I was thinking that God was going to kill me and my kids because of my sin for leaving the church and my husband, because divorce was a sin. So yeah, it was very traumatic. And then my ex still tells me like, I'm never going to marry nobody. I'm still waiting for you. You're my wife. No matter if we're divorced, that's just the paper. We're still married in God's eyes.
I genuinely do not care what religion you practice or what faith you believe in. That is your life. That is your choice. But my job is different. I deal with reality. I talk to hundreds of people every single week about their marriages, their divorces, their resentment, their sexless relationships, their emotional disconnect, and their broken homes. And there is a pattern that I keep seeing. A lot of couples got married based on a belief, not true compatibility. They followed the rules of their church, the book, their family, their community. They did everything right. They waited for marriage. They never lived together. They barely knew each other's habits, stress patterns, emotional triggers, or needs. And then they got married. And suddenly, two strangers are trying to build a life together. This is not a religious issue. This is a human psychology issue. Human behavior is shaped by three major things. Behavioral psychology. What is that? It's how people act under pressure, how they argue, how they regulate their emotions, how they respond to stress. And then there's evolutionary psychology. That is about attraction, intimacy, bonding, compatibility, masculine and feminine dynamics, desire. These things are not just moral discussions, they are biological realities. And then you have environmental psychology. That is about how people function in shared space, cleanliness, finances, routines, noise tolerance, personal space, all that stuff. And you will not actually know any of this about somebody until you live with them. You can love somebody deeply and still be wildly incompatible in these areas. And when those incompatibilities show up after marriage, people feel trapped because now there's kids, families, religion, and community pressure. All of that's involved. That is the part people don't want to talk about. Their marriages become a prison. Now, let me make something just very, very clear. There are incredible religious marriages out there. Amazing ones. Couples who share faith, communicate well, respect each other, have a healthy life, and are truly enjoying their lives together. But those marriages work because those couples themselves are compatible. Their faith supports their relationship, but it doesn't replace the foundation. What I'm saying is simple. Faith cannot replace compatibility. Belief cannot replace emotional maturity. And a ceremony cannot magically create chemistry. Some of you will disagree with me. That is okay. But I talk to hundreds of people across every religion you can imagine. Christians, Muslims, Jews, Hindus, everything. And they all share the same problem. When people marry somebody they barely know, the cracks eventually start to show. So believe whatever you want to believe, but you can't argue with basic human compatibility.
Womansplaining Men to Women, episode 131. Why he has to slap your butt when he walks past. We have a board now. 1. He needs to make sure it's still there. If you don't have a butt, you can't poop. Pooping is important. He cares about you. 2. He needs to make sure that you haven't been replaced by a reptilian like Jim Carrey. He knows the sweet caresses of those cheeks like the back of his own hand. So if something is even slightly off, he will know. 3. It's fun. There's like a recoil. It's very satisfying. 4. Reassurance, because he knows that after a long time of dating, if he doesn't do it, you're going to think something is wrong. In fact, she might think that you're the reptilian. Did you see what I did here? Yeah. 5. Eventually it just actually becomes Pavlovian after a certain amount of time. Like, he eventually doesn't even realize that he's doing it anymore, and that's why sometimes he does it even in front of your parents or at church. Anyway, follow for more completely scientific explanations about the secrets of men. I've gotten pretty good at this.
And if he beating it out the frame too good, sister.
Real discretion's advised.
That man is a punk. Now I'm telling you, listen. Trust me something, sister. Trust me, sister.
And here I am thinking that we've left the moronic accusations back in 2025. But it seems as if they are very much here in 2026 and they've come back stronger. Her accusation is, if he's laying down the pipe correctly, that means he's...
If they are reaching that bottom and beating your shit in, they beat it in like that because they used to beating in. And it's like they beat it. Like, they like it beat in. They do. I'm pretty sure some of them like it more gentle, but for the most part, they like it beat down.
I'm just trying to understand, what kind of education must you acquire in order to have a thought process like this? Because as a man that's had my fair share of women, I can confidently say some women like it really aggressive. Some women don't. Some women like it kind of like in the middle. But her narrative is, if he blowing your back out, that must mean he's sleeping with men because men, that's how they like it. You know, sometimes I feel like I'm cursed with common sense, because if I wasn't, only then what she is saying would sound like profound information. And to think that we live amongst these kind of people. Like, in their spare time, these are the kind of thoughts that they formulate on their own behalf. And I'm also 100% sure she's probably one of the types that would say, oh, men don't know how to satisfy women. And it's like, so if she likes her rough and I give it to her rough, automatically that makes me a man. Man. I am truly at a loss for words, but you know what? Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. Y'all keep the change.
You know, I think going back to the young lady that was talking about how the church, basically she lost faith in the church. I don't think that she's necessarily lying, but I would like to hear his side of the story, because a lot of times what you hear from a lot of ladies is they'll tell their side of the story, but then the man comes in and he tells something totally different. Now, it might be the case that he's not doing a whole lot around the house, right? It might be the case that he is doing or not doing whatever she said he's not doing. But also, a lot of times modern women will go in, well, people in general will go in and tell their side of the story. And then you hear the other person's side of the story, you'd be like, oh, okay. See, you didn't tell that. See, you didn't really say anything about that. Oh, well, I didn't believe it was important, or I just forgot and I wasn't trying to withhold anything, yada, yada, yada. Right? So he might actually be doing things that she's not going to do, and she not really saying anything about it. He might be taking care or picking up the slack in another part of the house, and she's not really acknowledging that. It might be the case that they had an agreement that, hey, I take care of this and you take care of that. That's how I want my relationship to go. But then when you actually get into the relationship, there are a lot of modern women out there that want to renege on their part of the deal, quote unquote, and they want the man to continue doing what he was doing, what they agreed upon, and even more. Okay, well, now you doing 100% of what you're doing. I want you to take 50% of what I'm doing as well. And, you know, in those situations, I don't think that's fair.
Regret be hitting so much harder when it's self-realized.
I was in college. I dated a very traditional Christian man who asked me at one point, how do you feel about after you graduated, we just immediately got married and you were a stay-at-home wife and you didn't have to work? Ooh. I was honestly offended by that question because I was so passionate about this thing that I was getting a degree in that I was just so eager to enter the workforce and do this thing that I loved and get money for it. Fast forward to today, I've graduated, we broke up, I'm now working in the profession of the thing that I got a degree in, and I changed my mind.
Aww.
I changed my mind, I know.
What the fuck?
I don't want to do it anymore, I'm done.
That's how regret sounds, yo. It sounds like a whole bunch of yo, shorty had it good. Get married right after graduation, become a stay-at-home wife, chilling, homie's gonna take care of everything. Yo, that sounds traditional. That sounds like a soft, nice life. But no, that modern woman in her just couldn't help. She said she got offended, so she got mad at him and all that. Fast forward, she got her degree. Congratulations. Now you in the workforce. It's all self-inflicted. This is everything she says she wanted herself. Now she's working, paying bills. The life ain't soft. And homie probably found him somebody, married him somebody. And that chick is like, yo, shout out to you, shorty, for choosing that career. Because whoever he married got that soft life. Meanwhile, she's over here crying on the internet, sobbing on the internet, doing this. I don't know what that sounds like. That just sounds ugh. But she doing it. So ladies, before you regret, if you have the opportunity to live a soft life, mad nice, mad shorties want this life, then you should take it and you should do it. Regret like this? Oof. I wish that on nobody.
The men are right. We need to start dressing more modestly in the gym.
No, just put a shirt and pants on.
Oh my god, shut the
And she commented on your video saying, she's the woman in the clip. Thank you for saying this. All for his glory, right? Yeah, because his glory wants you posting underwear pictures of yourself in the gym. Do Christian women like you just ignore this modesty verse in the Bible or something? Training all covered up, something you've tried before, meaning putting a shirt and pants on, makes you feel anxious because it's hot, sweaty, and irritable. But going to the gym dressed as legally naked as possible doesn't make you feel anxious.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
Always the same deflection of, it's just a joke, it's just a... No, it's not. There's tens of thousands of angry females in your comments mad about the fact that I struck a nerve of truth. And now they need to call their father and apologize.
I am the problem. Okay, so I've been like racking my brain like the last week because I realize that a lot of people like come onto my Instagram and like to hear me talk, right? But I still deal with like all of these voices. It's like the church is telling me don't do this. The world is telling me don't do that. Cancel culture and you're too prude. And I've just had so many voices like spewing at me my entire life. It is my hope somehow you all can benefit from me kind of using this profile like therapy. I come on here and I feel so much shame because I want to tell you guys something. I want to let you in on a little secret, okay? The girl that I am today, the woman that I have become, I fought tooth and nail for her. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I am the problem. I am, or was, and am still fighting to this day, that girl that turns down the good boys for the bad ones. And I have spent years trying to figure out why. And then coming onto this profile, fighting for those good guys because I know I am the problem. I am one of those girls that turned down so many good men for terrible men. The conclusion that I had to come to with myself that I'm here to share about is that it is possible, but you have to be aware and you have to want to change. The next man that I am with is gonna have to sit there and I'm gonna tell him, I'm gonna want to run eventually. When you show up for me enough, when you are treating me like a queen, I'm gonna get the ick and I'm gonna want to run, but I'm not. I'm gonna tell you about it and we're gonna sit there and we're gonna pray through it and we're gonna work through it because I know that that is my childhood wounds speaking, not you. And that is the difference that I fought for and I fought for years. So I'm gonna stop being so afraid to share that part of myself, that whole world that goes on in my head, and start sharing more about it so that maybe you can see into the mind of those girls and understand like when one is where she is along her path. If she's not even aware that she has that problem, run. She's not going to change for a very long time until she really learns her lesson like I did. So anyways, that was a really long rant, but now you know.
Bust that coochie open, okay? That's what they want.
No one's flying you out just because you're cool. No one's like, does the guy look like does he look like FaZe? He's not invested in your streaming career. He's not just bringing you out here for no reason on private jet. Come on, use your brain.
He is not wrong. A man is not flying you out because he thinks that you're just so cool and you're not like other girls and you're just so dry, gorgeous, and beautiful. No. They want some coochie, okay? And I know a lot of girls that's willing to give it up to them, but they know what they walking into, okay? I would bet the majority of entertainers are looking for girls, scouting out girls, Instagram back page. If we being for real, Instagram back page. They getting on Instagram, they scouting around, they looking for girls. We all know what go down in Dubai, okay? And they're trying to fly you out, not because they want to know what your favorite color is and get to know you as a person. They don't give a about that. Bust that coochie open, okay? That's what they want. And again, I need you to understand that so that when you go down there and they want you to bust that coochie open, you're not blindsided. Or if that's not something that you're into, then you just don't go. Like I said, I don't know who the lied to y'all and told y'all that that's not what's happening, that these girls are just sitting on not doing nothing. Everything comes at a price. Everything. And it ain't always monetary, okay? Everything has a price on it. You may not be paying anything with money, but you will pay with your sanity, your peace of mind, and that ass. Period, point blank. So understand that.
Going on wherever she is at, respect to the queens that stand on the biggest business. It ain't that many of them out here though. It's like that's a far few between, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But with that being said, would you still be willing to pay the bills, or would y'all have an attitude like, oh, well, you got it, big dog, like it's on you, like you got it? Like,
as a grown man, naturally we protectors and providers. That's just how we come. So we gonna fill in the gaps however they need to be filled. But there's definitely nothing wrong with meeting a woman and her is like going crazy, and this is just who you meet and how it go. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see nothing wrong with it. Nietzsche, talk to him. You look like you feel bad about it. Talk to him.
I don't know. I've never experienced that. I've never experienced a woman in my adulthood that made more money than me.
You drop a bomb, you need to figure it out. It's pretty cool on that side, Nietzsche. There's nothing wrong with it, sir. Cause she get to a bag and she pull up in that and her credit score be credit scoring. Listen to me, sir. Trust me, sir. Go to the other side, sir. See what that is like, sir. I promise it is not bad. It is not as bad as it may seem, respectfully.
I agree with you.
Well, you better see what they doing over there.
Let me
I'm a woman. So what you say?
I said women don't like dudes who got their own, who don't need them. They rather deal with men who are not that intellectually aggressive, who gonna let them say what they want and do what they want. They rather deal with a man like, not saying you like that, but most women out here don't want to deal with a man who gonna say, baby, nah, don't wear that. Nah, baby, don't talk like that. They don't really want to deal with that. They rather deal with a dude who let them say and do whatever they want to do. And they think if a man be a man, he's toxic.
So my question was, do you with a real woman?
Let me answer that question.
And the reason why I asked
I'm
is
listening.
because if you with a real woman, she's going to agree with you. Hey, maybe I shouldn't step outside wearing this,
I respect that,
this
baby.
nasty ass shit.
Let me answer that. This is the problem. The real woman is standing too close to the hose, so we don't know the difference until we start talking to y'all. No, listen. I met a lot of women. It don't mean, I don't care if they from the hood. I don't care if they got two parents. Their interests are the same. It's like right now, right? If you see 10 lions coming down the street, are you gonna try to figure out which lion gonna bite your ass or not? You're gonna be like them 10 lions. So unfortunately, the real woman agree with too much these on, so we don't know the difference.
And really, honestly and truly, you think about the woman who's talking about, basically, you're going to have to bear with me. I've been through a lot of things. I've chosen the bad guy over and over again, and now I have trauma from that. And you as the man are going to have to come in and help me to deal with that. You as the man are going to have to come in and bear with me. And, you know, when I talk to you crazy, you're going to have to bear with me. When I go sideways on you, when I go left, or when I feel like being in a different headspace, you're going to have to bear with me. And, you know, I understand for normal people, they have problems, and usually normal people would help each other through their problems. But modern women, for years, they're the worst to men. The absolute worst. They talk to men crazy. They treat men crazy. They do silly things to men. And then 10, 15 years down the road, they turn back and they say, oh man, I really want a partner now. And now all that stuff that you were doing, well, you're going to have to bear with me. I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah, you did. You knew what you were doing. You just didn't care. That's what you actually need to say. I didn't care. And now that I care and I'm tired of being alone, if you want me, you're going to have to deal with all of this baggage that I've created for myself. You're going to have to come in and clean it up. And I don't think a lot of men really want to do that.
But a 50-50 man for you disqualify?
Absolutely.
Disqualify? What if he? Okay.
Like I haven't met him. I wouldn't even have met that man. A man that wants to be like half and half had never met me. I didn't meet him. He wasn't even in my room. I never met a man like that. Literally, I never met the man. Seriously, like there's no way you looked at me and was like, yeah, we going to, like, I never met him.
Okay.
I'm not running across him. No disrespect to this man. But walk on by him.
SD, what's up?
The facts of the matter are,
that the vast majority of people here, especially black people, would be smart to go 50-50 with each other. Because half the men and over half the women make $50,000 or less. You know what I'm saying? And for black people, us, when you look at where we sit as far as household income, we are at last because most of us are by ourselves, right? And with over half of the men and half of the women making just $50,000, it makes our household income the lowest. Whereas other people also don't have all of this money, but what they are doing is they are getting together and saying, okay, you can only do half. I can only do half. Let's put that 50 together. Now it's $100,000 home. Now I don't have to pay $2,000 rent on my own. Now I can pay just $1,000 and we can save more money together.
We're seeing a new thing in the earth where white people are believing that their culture is being erased. And when you ask them what white culture is being erased, they can't even tell you. They can't tell you what white culture is being erased because what white culture really is just control. Controlling what history gets taught, what beauty looks like, what success looks like, whose voices gets heard and whose voices gets ignored. But now something different is happening. The world ain't just accepting one version of the story anymore. People push back when history gets oversimplified. People question stereotypes instead of just letting them slide. White folks have been so used to having the loudest voice in the room that even basic pushback feels like an attack. The world is changing and they don't like that. More voices, more representation, more people telling their own stories instead of being spoken for. Now, equality feels like oppression. Now they feel like they're losing something. But all they're losing is control. Control over the people they've been oppressing this entire time.
Oh, your boyfriend's toxic? What do you do though? Oh, he got mad at you because you posted a bikini picture on your Instagram? Wait, but why would you post a bikini picture if you have a boyfriend? Oh, he's not controlling? You do it for yourself? Oh, okay, what was I thinking? But if you do it for yourself, couldn't you just keep it in your camera roll then? Oh, that's different? Oh, you want your friends to hype you up? Oh, wait, but why do your friends want to see you in a bikini though? Oh, that's for you do it for yourself? Oh, okay. But if you want your friends to hype you up, aren't you doing it for your friends? Oh, I'm projecting? Oh, okay, sorry. Wait, you're looking for a high-value boyfriend, but you're talking to 10 guys at the same time? Oh, that's different? Oh, you're gonna cut them off once you find the right one? Wait, but shouldn't you, like, talk to one at a time so that you're not, like, disloyal to the other ones? Oh, and they're all low-value men? Wait, but if you're doing the same thing they're doing, aren't you also a low-value woman? Oh, no, it's empowering? Oh, all men are liars? Oh, you broke up because he was cheating on you? Oh yeah, that's messed up. Wait, but didn't you also cheat on him a few times? Oh, he doesn't need to know that? Oh, that's different? Oh, it's not your fault men are lustful? I mean, that's true. But are you asking for less though? Oh, it's different? You're not? Oh,
Who asked the homeless man outside of a liquor store to get them alcohol, but the homeless man said only if you kiss me.
Oh my God.
And their friends made them kiss him for a pack of White Claws.
You kissed one of you kissed a homeless man for a 6-pack of White Claw. There's no way.
The mere fact that she was willing to kiss a bum on the lips for some White Claws, bro. I can only imagine what else she willing to do for anything, bro. White Claws, motherfucker? White Claws? Yeah, stop the video. Stop the video. We ain't doing this no more. I have failed as a father.
Who needed money to get their nails done in high school, but dad wouldn't give it to them, so they belittled a man who paid people to belittle him for $60.
What? Oh, that's crazy. They want some dominatrix shit in high school? Just imagine all the other shit they've been doing. They not gonna tell him, bro. Which one of us got Bonnie Blued? Which one of us let the Clippers run a train on him?
Have
you ever dated a baddie before? Like, is that your type? Is like a baddie?
Have I dated or is it my type?
I just don't want to be your first baddie. So do you have experience?
She not a baddie.
Why do women like you get your bills paid, and there's some women that work hard and can't find a man?
Like she a baddie, she's a baddie.
I feel like I'm a billionaire. Does that make me a billionaire?
One day you may be.
Okay, but I'm not a billionaire right now. The bank account don't read that, right? So if ain't nobody ever told her she a baddie, how she a baddie?
Somebody may have.
Who?
What's wrong with
Ray
her?
Charles.
She's pretty.
Stevie Wonder. Who ever told her that? When if anybody ever came and said, ooh, you're a baddie? Did Natalie Nunn put on baddies? Huh? No, needs nothing. Why do you get your bills paid and she don't get her bills paid?
What makes her not a baddie? Please tell me.
Do baddies have double chins?
Wow.
Case closed.
At this point, I'm starting to think some of y'all just like to be broke. At this point, I'm thinking that y'all love to go to this job that you hate. $20,000 monthly. My content course is only $20 to teach you exactly what I did to make this. $20, $20,000 a month. $20, $20,000 a month. It's not rocket science. Everybody has that. Kids have $20. DM # content or just comment content below. Right here. Just comment content on this video and I'm going to send you the exact course. Now, if you want more personalized information, we can get on the line directly. But the course is just $20 to make $20,000. Quit that job, click this link, and let's get rich. The ugly money.
Women did not want women's liberation.
What?
Yes, everybody assumes and believes that women kind of looked around in the 19th century and they went, you know, we're oppressed. We don't have any rights. I wish I could work. I wish I could get away from my husband who drinks and beats me. And they marched and they picketed until they had voting rights and equality in the workplace. That's the story everyone's heard, and it's not correct at all. In fact, it's the opposite. So we had this big fight in the late 1800s between pro-suffrage groups and anti-suffrage groups. Most women in the United States and England, they far outnumbered by joining the anti-suffrage groups. They were very much against it. And these groups would debate, and women didn't want it. They thought they had a lot of great things going on already that were going to get ruined by suffrage. Only men could be held responsible for debt. There was something called breadwinner laws that said, look, women have to raise kids and be pregnant and have babies. So we have to hold men responsible for financially taking care of women and children. So women couldn't be thrown into a debtor's prison. They couldn't be held legally liable for repaying a loan or anything like that. The anti-suffragists said, you're going to see a lot of divorce. You're going to see broken up families because it's going to pit husband and wife against each other. Political interests will be used to drive a wedge between men and women and break up families. And then we're all going to be a bunch of single moms. We're all going to have to work. Like they literally predicted this.
Women are not going to be receptive to this. Their whole identity has been built from this feminine monster dog, and it's all like lie.
People keep asking why Black Americans are starting to lean more conservative, and I don't know if it's just me, but it seems pretty obvious. I mean, a lot of us were raised around conservative values, things like God, family, structure, organization, personal accountability, modesty even. These things were very normal in Black households, especially middle-class Black households. Now compare that to more liberal modern-day values, which are things like self-expression over tradition, questioning institutions, prioritizing individual freedoms, including redefining family structures and gender norms. And these really are just the social issues that I'm talking about, because personally I am independent politically, which means I can vote for either side depending on the content of their character, the laws that they want to push, etc. But in terms of societal values, yeah, obviously in my opinion neither side is evil, even though that's what y'all want to think about each other. The real divide is worldviews, which shapes your values, which means that you have to decide which values you think will create a stable society. And we see how that has absolutely nothing to do with your race? Exactly. So as someone who shares a lot of conservative values, at least socially, I am not surprised when people use those values to influence their politics. It seems kind of obvious. Let's be honest, if some of our favorite Black historical figures were alive today, do you think they would be marching with the gays and the days? Be so for real.
And this is what modern women do, man. And I'm glad he came back and cleared all that up. What modern women try to do is they do this stupid stuff to where they act like they don't know what people talk. I wouldn't even been in the room with a man that went 50-50. I don't know that man. Who are you? You're not a celebrity. You're a nobody. Y'all be acting like y'all the president of the United States or something like that. Y'all be acting like y'all the first lady or like a prime minister or something like that. You ain't nobody. Yes, you have been in a room with these type of men. You've talked to these type of men. You've done business with these type of men. Some of these men are even in your family. What the heck are you talking about? Shut up. Y'all not that important. You're not that important. These women be thinking they Viola Davis or something like that. They just fixing stuff. They just the plug, the person to go to. They be thinking they Olivia Pope or something like that. You've been watching too much TV. You've been watching too much TV. Well, I ain't got to be the face of it for everybody to know that I'm important. Everybody come to me when they need something. When they know something need to be fixed, they come to your girl. And I can't be quiet, man. Be quiet. You ain't got nothing going on.
Yo, stop calling this phone. I don't know what the you are. Listen what I'm saying though. Stop calling this phone. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. I don't know what the is this. Nah, listen what I'm saying though. I'm not gonna go back and forth with this shit. Stop calling the number. I'm block this number, bro. And shit, listen.
I'm sorry.
Lena, who's this? Who's this? Be honest though. Who's this?
I'm going through a lot right now. Please.
Lena, who's this? Keep calling your phone like that. Talking to your lady like, who's this, Lena? Nah, I'm talking to you. Who's this?
I just leave me alone, please. Like, you're putting a lot of pressure on me.
I'm putting pressure on you now. Wow. Some random dude calling my wife's phone. I'm putting pressure on you. This better be a joke, man. I'm
That's
being serious.
because you told me. You said you didn't want to be with me. So what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do as a person? You said you didn't want to be with me anymore.
I did not say that. So you tell me that we have a fight. You move on already.
But that's what you was telling me. I had no choice. Like, I was going through like a super heartbreak. You told me you didn't want to be with me.
Selena, you have something.
What do you want me to do? I don't have anyone. That was before.
So you move on. We argue and have a fight for like a week. You move on already?
No, I'm not saying.
There is not a single man that actually wants marriage. Yes, I'm making a generalization. No, I don't give a if it hurts your feelings.
No, generalizations don't hurt most people's feelings. However, it does say a lot about the person that makes them.
Without the idea of marriage, men have no value. They have zero value.
Well, isn't that just precious? Trying to equate a person's, or rather, a man's actual value in the world as a human being to how marriageable they are. Just imagine if a man said that about a woman. It would be absolutely pandemonium. But if a woman is being sexist towards all men, then it's perfectly acceptable, and a lot of women will even applaud her for it.
If we got rid of marriage tomorrow, no one would be thinking about men.
I find that highly unlikely, notwithstanding the fact that a lot of women wouldn't have any content at all if they weren't complaining about men constantly, but the world's infrastructure rather does rely on them.
No one would be thinking about them because that is the only thing that they would be able to have for women's interest to be piqued, for women to decide that they want to deal with them.
I find that highly unlikely. In fact, I would actually like to issue a challenge to some of those women out there that say they don't need men and dislike all of them. Try going a week without mentioning men. I bet you can't do it.
There's 3 definitions of respect that I want to share because they're all really important and they all fit together really well to give a full picture and meaning to the word respect. The first definition of respect that I want you to know is that respect is a feeling of deep admiration for someone by their abilities, qualities, and achievements. The second definition of respect. Respect is a regard for the feelings, wishes, and rights of another. And the third definition of respect. Respect is a feeling and understanding that someone is important and serious and deserves appropriate treatment and regard. So a good man by nature who is thoughtful, loving, caring, wants nothing more than his wife to be happy, will go through thick and thin to try to make his wife happy, is hardworking, wants what's best for his family, sacrifices himself for what's best for the family, is deserving of respect.
So I used to think a woman's past didn't matter until this one time that I got invited over to my cousin's house. We were all sitting around their bonfire after dinner. They had invited some friends and another cousin of ours. And in the midst of the conversations, the attention got put on me. And they asked me if I've been seeing anybody lately because, you know, recently I became single again. And I was like, yeah, like I've been seeing this one girl. She came over, you know, we've been spending the night and all this stuff. And my cousin was like, oh yeah, Vinny got his little hoes. But what he needs is a good girl that's not going to give it up on the first night. So that's when my other cousin chimes in, the one that was recently married. And she's like, oh yeah, I made Steven wait at least 2 months before he was able to get any. And my boy was sitting there like all proud and shit, like that shit sucked, but it was worth it. That's when I was like, you see, like I want that too. But then I'm scared that like if a girl makes me wait that long and then I find out this one night stand in her past. And then that's when they look at me and they're like, but why does that even matter? And that's when I was like, well, if the whole point of making a man wait is for self-respect and for preservation, then that goes out the window if you gave it to somebody else on the first night. So there's really no point. Because they're just going to feel like you put on a good girl mask just because you seen a future with me, but not with the person you let hit on the first night, you know? And the whole time that I was giving my explanation, all I'm seeing is like my little cousin, the 16-year-old, she's in the back like, and as soon as I finish talking, she looks over at her sister and she's like, My cousin's like, what? And she's like, what about the guy in Mexico? When I tell you guys, her face pale, like she didn't even know what to say. And then her husband's like, what guy in Mexico? So at that moment, I'm pretty sure we all realized that he didn't know about the guy in Mexico. And at that point, he had got up, walked into the house, and my cousin followed after him. And honestly, we didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal. But a month later, they actually announced that they were separating. But I think we all learned a valuable lesson that day. For me, it was just because she make you wait does not make her worth my time.
Okay, genuine question for those that say that women should go 50-50 in a relationship with a man because it's the 21st century and we're equals now.
Okay. What's the question?
Do you think that women fought for the right to have our own money, have our own bank accounts, have our own property, just to turn around and give that to a man?
It really sounds like someone is just a tad bit confused on what actually equality really entails.
To the same people that were fighting us on it, that were like, no, you're not equal. Oh man, I wish you could have a bank account, but you're just not equal.
Wait till they find out that men, some of them at least, actually fought alongside women in their struggle for equality. But then again, that would ruin their narrative.
And then we fought them so hard that they were like, okay, fine, but we get half.
Do you think that someone realizes that splitting the finances 50-50 actually means that the money goes to the bills and expenses? Yeah, probably not.
Do you have a brain hemorrhage? Hey, do you have a tumor?
No, but I can imagine someone that might.
That might be happening with you because your words aren't making any sense.
Well, not everyone has the greatest comprehension skills.
He's exhausted not because of his work. He's exhausted because he doesn't have your feminine energy on his side. You could change this man's life right now. You could take 10 years off of this man's life if he could feel the sustained love and energy and admiration from you, and not all the judgment, and not all the controls. He's tired of fighting. That's the only reason he'd ever leave you, not because he doesn't love you. He just can't live without an ounce of freedom left. The freedom to feel, the freedom to think, the freedom to make his own decisions. And it doesn't mean he doesn't willingly include you. He's done the whole way. He's played level 2 the whole way. And you run him over with a frog. He let you. You couldn't run him over whether he let you. But you picked someone who would let you, and now you're pissed about it. Other than that, I'm not quite sure what's happening in your relationship.
Dean becomes tearful listening to Tony because what he's saying is so true.
I feel like I've worked really, really hard to change the feminine side, to really get to the feminine side.
No, you did try to change the feminine side. I think that's the accurate description. Your initial gut was the right way of describing it. And the feminine side doesn't need to be changed. You've tried to change the feminine so it'll fit in your model of the world of control. And the feminine is not about control. Real feminine, that's how you know. If you're trying to control ladies, that tension, you're in the masculine.
80% of women are not marriage material. They're not. They're selfish. They're self-centered. They don't have just what I would consider that base core feminine skill, that feminine quality. They don't have that. They don't even trust their own intuition. They don't even have good intuition. Like I'm trying to teach a woman about intuition, like what that is and how to know things. That is deeply a part of the feminine.
You blame that? You think you blame that heavily on like the feminist ideology? Or
for sure.
Okay.
Because remember, feminism wants a woman to separate her mind from her body. It wants her to separate fact from how you feel about things. So that they want you to say that how you feel and a biological fact, like they want to pull those things apart. Yeah. Wow. They want them to heavily rely on IVF and fertility treatments and surrogacy to have children, when a woman can have a baby for free, like, as long as she works with nature.
And this is what I'm saying, man. You know, the guy was talking about it. Past actually matters. Modern women will get. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. One way or another, that man wasn't even searching for the answer. It just came up. It just came up in conversation. What about that guy in Mexico? Oh, your past don't matter. Yeah, I made him wait, this and that. I want to do this, and I want to respect myself. And that's kind of the problem. You know what I mean? You go through modern women go through so many men, and then they decide, you know what, I'm going to start respecting myself now. And this is the guy that I'm going to have to do it with. It'd be one thing if, let's say you in high school, you got your first love, or, you know, you're trying to get one out the way and you find somebody else, right? You know, that's your first love. All right, cool. But then you go on a spree and you just knocking brothers down left and right. It always seems to get to the point to where the guy that you want to marry or you really want to be with, you make him wait. Why is it that, okay, I got my first love, we do a little something. I get into college, I want to go buck wild, I want to experience some things. I got one body, two body, right? And now you got three under your belt. You stop and you say, maybe I ought to calm down. Maybe I ought to relax. And so the next guy that comes trying to hit on you and he don't even want nothing from you. Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not into that. I'm sorry. But it seems like those guys keep on coming up to her and she's like, yeah, we can continue to do that. And she keeps on racking up bodies until she gets to the guy that she actually likes. And now she's like, well, you know what? I want to respect myself now. I think that's the problem that men are having. Nowhere in it, there's no consistency. Well, the only pattern is I wait until I get to the man that I actually like to tell them we're going to wait this out. I'm going to wait until marriage. Why now? Why not 2 or 3 guys before me? Why didn't you start holding that standard for them? Why didn't you start holding that standard on a guy that only wanted to hit it and quit it? And then you go down a list or a line of explanation. I don't want to hear those. The heck out of my face. And that's why, unfortunately, he come back and say we're gonna be separating. Since we're gonna lie, since we're gonna withhold stuff. Well, you just didn't ask me, and I didn't think it was Yeah, you don't think a lot. Modern women don't think a lot of things are pertinent to the conversation. They don't think a lot of things need to be said. What he don't know won't hurt him. Well, unfortunately for you, while you was trying to be deceitful, he found out, and here we are.